Welcome to Under the Hood, your fortnightly insight and recap into accounting's leading topics and practical insights. Brought to you by Accountants Daily.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Under the Hood, brought to you by Accountants Daily. It is officially November, which is just crazy to say, and this year has absolutely flown by. And this episode actually marks the 1-year anniversary of Under the Hood, which is also really exciting to say. I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who has tuned in over the past year. It has meant a lot to me, as this was a little passion project I started, which has taken off, and it has been absolutely fantastic. As always, my name is Imogen Wilson, and today I feel incredibly lucky to be sitting in the podcast studio to celebrate Under the Hood's 1-year anniversary with an amazing woman, accountant and mentor. Joining me today is founder of Two Sides Accounting, the one and only Natalie Lennon. Nat, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Wow, that was quite an intro.
The grand intro.
Yeah, I'm great. I'm so happy to be here and sharing the 100th episode with you. How amazing. What a great achievement. I love listening to the podcast. I'm very happy to be on it today.
It's so nice to have you, and a long time coming as well. I mean, Nat's been one of those people that I speak to all the time, and she'll let me know, she goes, oh, love this, hate this, loved the episode. Episode was okay. So she's been someone I've, grown a friendship with, which has been fantastic, and someone I can always go to for whatever I need. So it's been amazing. And here she is on the podcast. Now, Nat, how has this year been for you? What's been going on in business? What's been going on in life?
I feel like it's been another big year that's just flown by. I can't believe it's almost November. I feel like last year was a huge year. There was a lot of traveling going on. We got to go to Xerocon Nashville, and then this year was another big year with Xerocon. I feel like Xerocon's always such a big event, and there's a lot of build up to it, and then once that's over, it's like, okay, now we can breathe and get back into it, and then it's almost Christmas. So it's been a pretty good year.
Amazing. And so for everyone tuning in today, as Nat just mentioned, she's been at Xerocon. She's been at a few Xerocons, but she was at Xerocon in Brisbane this year, and she presented about being the boss of your own future, which was just an amazing presentation and incredibly inspirational as well. And today we are lucky enough to get a little bit of a spin on that. And today she's going to be sharing about where she thinks the industry is heading and how you can build a firm for the future, a firm that brings you joy and empowerment, which is something that Nat is all about. But Nat, before we do that, it wouldn't be an Under the Hood episode unless you give us a bit of an insight into who you are, your career, and how you got to where you are today.
How long have we got?
Start. She was born on this date.
I'll give you the abbreviated version. So, I liked school. I was a relatively smart kid, but I didn't really want to go to uni. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So kind of left school and got a job straight away so that I could buy my first car. And then I kind of did a bit of bookkeeping in that role. So it was an admin role, was for a software company that coincidentally became a client last year. So that was pretty cool. Started learning bookkeeping and using MYOB. Really enjoyed it, and then decided that that was what I wanted to do. So I went off to TAFE, studied part-time at night, worked full-time, kind of left there, went into a small local accounting firm, was there for a long period of time. Then, like most accountants, we get itchy feet and we go into commercial land where we earn more money. It all seems quite glamorous. And then after a couple of years, I got bored and went back to public practice accounting. So I've had quite the varied career. And then when I went back to public practice accounting, and luckily enough, I became a partner after 6 months.
Wow.
Because, the founding partner had some health issues,
right,
and he kind of wanted to retire.
And you were there and you're like,
and I was
yes!
there. So it was... knowing what I know now, I think, oh my God, it was such a quick thing and I wasn't ready. I didn't know the clients enough and all those things. But I felt like it was, it set me up for where I am today. So I was there for another 5 years. It was a very old school firm, founded in the 80s, doing things the way they've always been done. And I thought, okay, now's my time to really shake this up. But the other two partners didn't really agree. And so after about 5 years there, I decided it's time to start my own thing. And that's when I started Two Sides Accounting.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you've always been a bit of a boss woman. Straight out the gates, you were like, yep, let's do this thing. And obviously, most important question today, what was your first car that you bought yourself?
It was a red Daihatsu Charade.
Oh!
I'm showing my age here, I think.
So she was turning up to the office in a little red car, like, boom, boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. So obviously, from that career path there, I think it's quite interesting that a lot of, young accountants start out, straight out the gates. They're like, oh, maybe I'll go into a big firm or a big four or, maybe a mid-tier or perhaps just a really traditional accounting firm. And that just seems to be what they do before they then go, actually, I'm going to start my own business or I'm going to go into a bit of a small accounting firm or boutique accounting. Yep. Why is this the case? Why is it always, bigger, best, do everything, get on that grind before then realising, actually, I can do this somewhere else that is a little bit more beneficial to me in my personal life?
I think it's they don't know what they don't know, right? So when you're at uni, all you really know is what, they come in and they talk to you about your options when you leave here, and most of it is big four, mid-tier, that sort of thing. They don't know about the zero cons. They don't know about how good our accounting community is. They don't know about our Facebook groups. They don't know about all this cool stuff. So they don't really know about these small firms that are doing amazing things. So it just is natural to go to the big four and do all the big things. But I think it's really important for them to think about what they actually want out of their career as well. Because for me, looking back, I'm actually blessed that I didn't go down that path, because when I went into the corporate and it was a larger corporate, I decided it wasn't really for me.
Yeah.
And so if I had have gone along that path, then I would have gone, well, not that I would have wasted that time at all, but, I had a lot of friends who were in the big four. They were getting paid a lot less and they were doing a lot more hours.
Yeah.
So when I balanced it up, I was like, well, actually, your hourly rate, you probably could go get a job at McDonald's. Look, they're getting good experience, so I won't discount that.
Oh, that's too funny.
But it's about your goals and what you want, right? And it just wasn't for me.
Do you think it's a bit of a rite of passage that you need to have that realisation? That you need to go into maybe, full corporate life or the big four and go, actually, I could just be getting this money at McDonald's. Do you need to have that?
I think with anything, you've kind of got to go along the journey. Like there's been a lot of chatter on LinkedIn lately about Gen Z. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have seen it.
And like some of it, I get a bit aggravated with them, but then I think I was probably exactly the same when I was their age. So I've got to try and be like, I feel like, am I the boomer in this situation? And we're having side chats with other, millennials, Gen Y, friends of mine, and we're like, have we become the boomers? And they're like, no, the Gen Z is just really out there. And I'm like, yeah, but maybe that's how we were as well.
Yeah, and do you know what? I think it's so interesting because I have seen that on LinkedIn quite a bit. And I saw Joanna Perry talk about Gen Z last week, and she really talks about it at the moment because she's into that recruitment stage now. But it's quite interesting because we talk about having a bit of a, talent recession or shortage, and you need to be looking at Gen Z to bring them in. That's who you need. And then everyone's kind of a little bit resistant to hire Gen Z. I'm like, well, there's your answer. I know. How do you feel about that? Would you hire someone in your firm for that?
Look, we're 100% remote these days. Yeah. So it is a little bit hard if we've had this discussion a few times with the team, if we were going to hire a Gen Z or someone, younger again, we would have to go back to, having a hybrid setup, which we're not really ready to do at the moment. So probably not for us. And look, they do seem like hard work. But once again, as I said, I was probably equally hard work when I was in their shoes. So I get it. I probably wasn't on LinkedIn talking about it because maybe I wasn't confident enough. And sometimes I look at it and I go, It pains me because, like Joanna said, is that they're doing everything that we wanted. We were just we thought we had to walk the walk. Yeah, whereas they're like, we're just talking the talk. And so we're a little bit jealous of that. And we're like, no, you've got to walk the walk. And they're like, no, we don't.
You've got to do the hard yards. And they're like, no, I'll do it whatever I want, actually.
Yeah. So it's a very tough thing to ask a Gen Y about Gen Z.
I actually don't tell anyone, but I do fit into the Gen Z category.
Just slip in there.
I try to keep my age very under wraps on here. But I struggle with some people that are like, oh, you just, you say what you want. I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah. We've got to do it. You've got to go do the hard yards, get your runs on the board. But no, apparently you just need to be confident these days. So I'm still practicing that. Now, if we get into our topic today of, building a firm for the future, and I know this is something you're really passionate about, what does that mean for you?
So I guess, being in that old school firm and then, finding my people. So when I left the old firm, I went to a Xerocon like a month after, like it was booked. And so I kind of feel that like that was like the revolution of like, oh my God, I've made the right decision. These are my people. How cool is this? Where have I been?
Xerocon really is that cool, by the way, everyone.
Yeah, I know I'm a bit of a Xerocon. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, but
well,
you
if
know.
you haven't been there, guys, you need to get there because it's seriously nuts.
Yeah, and this is not sponsored, by the way. Anyway.
We just love it.
What was I saying? Hold on, cut it. I lost my train of thought. That's okay. Oh, that's right. So really building the firm of the future, obviously it's the tech and the AI and all that sort of stuff, but it's also not just doing things the way they've always been done. So I feel like, you know, when you start your firm, and I see this quite a lot with those that I'm mentoring as well, because I'm mentoring accountants, and they think they've got to get the office, you know, then have the team, and then, you know, do all the things that the old school firms had to do. You know, if you're a sole practitioner, you know, that's perceived to be, oh, you're just a sole practitioner, you're this, you're that. Or, oh, you don't have an office, you're not professional. So it's like, you know what, let's not worry about what anyone else thinks. Let's worry about what's right for us, what are our goals. You know, if you want to be a sole practitioner so that you can just work a couple of days a week and take your kids to school, pick them up in the afternoon, have a good life, do it. I think the stigma of that is gone. It's 2025. Let's come with fresh ideas and new things, and let's build a firm that's different. Firm of the future.
Yeah, for sure. And is this something that is, you know, people are like, oh, that's easier said than done? Or is it just something that is easy and you just need to do it?
I think it's a bit of both. I think when you're first starting out, you feel that pressure. So for me, when I first started Two Sides Accounting, I think our first website slogan was, you're a 100% mobile accountant, because I started from home, right? Which I thought was pretty cool. And this was, you know, way before COVID. But I had a couple of clients that had come along with me from the old firm that were larger clients, and they were very much of the, you know, of the opinion that we weren't professional until we had that office. So they were like, oh, when are you going to hire people and when are you going to have that office? And so I felt that pressure to do that. But then I think post-COVID, I went, and I think post-COVID too, I'd built the business to a certain size. We had a bit of a reputation on social media, so we had the leads coming in, and, you know, we built the brand. And so I went, you know what, it's time to get rid of the office. Let's go back to what I actually wanted in the beginning, and we're thriving, you know. Yeah. So I think sometimes you have to go, you know, along that journey with anything to work out what's right for you.
Yeah, and what works.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about Two Sides, because I know you've got Two Sides Accounting, and then you do your mentoring as well.
Yep.
And then you've got your team that's fully remote. Tell us how all of that works and how it all interlinks.
Yeah. So I guess I'm pretty lucky that my practice manager's been with me now about 7 years. So she started with me back when I first went into the co-working. So we literally sat in a room next to each other for like, I think maybe a year and a half. So like we have a really good working relationship working remotely, because I think sometimes it can be, you know, working remotely does have its challenges. Not everybody can do it. For sure. But I think because we have that time together, we just work like it's effortless. Whereas with the rest of the team, you do have to make a little bit more of an effort, especially with we've got a couple of team members in the Philippines that we haven't actually met face to face, which hopefully will next year. So it's just that different dynamic. Yeah. So we're a small team, and I actually am very proud that we're quite a lean team. Yeah. Because we grew to about, I think, 7 or 8 at one stage, and now we're down to, there's 4 of us. So we've got 2 in the Philippines and the rest of the team in Australia. But yeah, quite lean. We use all the apps to automate and streamline wherever we can. I'm very process focused, so everything has a checklist. So if anyone says to me, oh, what do I do here? I'm like, what does the checklist say? What are the notes? Which you have to be when you're fully remote. Yeah. We do most of our meetings on Zoom, which was another thing we started before COVID. We got a little bit of a pushback, but then I think post-COVID, everyone, they had to go onto Zoom. So that was really good. It kind of pushed that.
Well, everyone wants a Zoom meeting now. They're like, oh, we'll just jump on Zoom. I'm like, don't you want to look into each other's faces and not close it? I think you need to have a balance of both. Yeah. But it's definitely more efficient. So absolutely.
Come tax planning time where I'm doing 4 or 5 meetings a day, if they were coming into the office, I probably wouldn't be able to do that, because I guess there's a bit more chit-chat and things, which some accountants out there will be going, well, that's part of our job. It's the chit-chat, it's the relationships. Yes, it is. But I guess our clients are all very busy, and they prefer we have a quick chit-chat. We get in, we do what needs to be done, and then we call it a day. There's no, we just have parking issues at the office. And, we're not even in the city. We're out in the suburbs in the Sutherland Shire, and parking was an issue. Yeah. These are all just little things that, we've done to make our lives easier, be more efficient and more profitable. And then, last March, I think I launched Two Sides Academy. So I launched it with a TikTok course and mentoring other accountants, which kind of happened by accident. You know, I had a few accountants coming up to me after I spoke at the Accounting and Business Expo, wanting to be mentored and learn about TikTok. So I thought, well, why not? I'll just do that in my spare time.
Amazing. Yeah. And has that been fantastic? Do you enjoy that?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're made for that. You are.
Well, I think when I went to America and I got to meet Jason Stats in real life, and we've been following each other for a while and chatting, and he said to me, so when are you going to get rid of the accounting firm and focus on, all of this stuff? And I'm like, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
But I also think that having the accounting firm while I'm mentoring gives me the edge because I'm still in it. I think a lot of business coaches who have kind of moved out of it, not to say that, I'm any better than them at all, but I'm still in the trenches.
Yeah.
So I still can really relate to the current issues, and obviously the accounting firm's a lot more profitable. I can only mentor so many people at once.
For sure. I think that definitely would make, what you offer is already so valuable because of the person that you are and you're so personable. But the fact that you're still in the trenches would just make it even more valuable because you can just go, here's a real life example I was dealing with yesterday. Yeah. This is how I tackled it. This is how you could tackle it, which I'm sure is what people really, really love.
Yeah.
And so, with the industry, we talk a lot about what's going on, and there's been a bit of negative news, and a lot of people talk to me and say, you only ever speak about, negative tax legislation, you only ever say we're struggling with this, and this, but there's so many positives. Yeah. But obviously I speak about the conversations people are having, and sometimes they are a bit negative with the industry and what's been going on over the past, 18 months or so. What are your thoughts on where it's headed or what's going on now?
Do you mean in terms of AI and technology piece and everyone's a bit scared that AI is going to take their jobs? Yeah. Is that what you're hearing? Is that the angle?
Well, because there's just so much. I'm speaking a lot about AI. I'm speaking a lot about the future of accounting, which a lot of people have told me they don't like me speaking about, which is quite interesting. Yeah. And obviously, tax, what's going on with regulations, small businesses, compliance burdens.
Right, how long we got?
There's a long list. Yeah, but what do you think?
Look, there is a long list, and I think, a lot of accountants are still burnt out and tired from COVID. I know it was 5 years ago, but we still...
How was it 5 years ago,
PTSD from that time. So I feel... Yeah. So I think that's definitely part of it. But I feel like sometimes as an industry, we kind of do make a rod for our own back. We were having a chat on LinkedIn this morning. I did a post about not doing free initial consultations, and that gets quite the conversation. You've got to give new clients a little bit of advice, but you don't go giving them a free consultation. Because what does that do is it means when we get leads coming to us and they expect free advice, they ring around, they try and get, lawyers wouldn't do that. No. So there's a lot of things that we do as accountants because we feel like, we're there for the community, we want to help people, which is great, and I do too. But we've got to balance that with getting paid. Yeah. Because if we don't, and then we want to whinge about it, that we're overworked, we're underpaid, all this stuff, it's like, well, what are we going to do to change it?
Yeah, so set that boundary.
Yeah. So I'm a very, well, not all the time, but try to be positive and be like, okay, if I don't like something, what can I do to change that? Let's look forward and go, let's change it. Yeah. And you have a little whinge, that's all right. And then change it.
It's healthy to complain sometimes.
Yeah. And I think it is a very exciting time for us. I don't want to be doing tax returns in 5 years. I want them to be automated.
Yeah.
Let the ATO automate that. Bookkeeping. There's some things that are coming out with the auto bank rec for Xero. And I know when that first was announced at XeroCon, and we knew a little bit before that with XPAC, and there was, a few people, we weren't sure about how that was going to impact and is it going to work and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yet to test it yet. I think we're testing it in a couple of weeks, so that's exciting.
Oh, that is super exciting.
Yeah, but for me, I'm like, well, let the software automate that stuff, and then instead of us doing the manual processing, we're just going to review it and fix the issues. So it's like, it might not work the way that it's, as good as we think it's going to work, but we're just going to move we're just going to move the goalposts of what we're doing. Yeah. It's a bit like, I think when technology first came in and replaced, for example, the old shoebox. So the shoebox, they'd come in with the receipts, whereas now we've got tools like HubDoc and Dext. Now, I'm pretty sure when that came in, no one was whinging that they, that job of looking at the receipts and adding them up was going away. So I think we just need to be positive and go, well, what's the opportunity?
Yeah.
The opportunity is more time to spend building the relationships, helping them with their businesses. Same with the bookkeepers. So, I don't think, even though there is going to be a lot of bookkeeping automation, I think there's still lots of opportunity for the bookkeepers out there as well. So I think, we need to not, be frightened about it. We need to just look at the positives, because we don't know, like, technology is moving at a rapid pace.
Super rapid.
But we don't really know how far, like, every time something new comes out, we've got a little side chat on Facebook Messenger with the other Zero Partner Advisory Council.
Cool.
And we share it around and we're like, but is it going to actually
do anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because My Toxic Trade is testing all this stuff.
Which is good. I think somebody needs to.
It's good, but then recently I've pulled back and gone, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore, because I'm just tinkering, wasting time, and none of it actually does exactly what it says it's going to do. So it's like, okay, I'm just kind of sitting back, testing different things, and then working out, what our business looks like next.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's one of those things too where, you take on a new software update or you use something, but are you just using it because it's now out and it's just been released? Is it actually making your life easier or your job easier? Yeah. So it's one of those things. Yeah. Now, if we segue into marketing, and you spoke a little bit about TikTok before, this is something that I have known that you're so good at. You are just such a boss woman at marketing and, getting that across and getting your voice across. How have you, gone into that avenue, and what's worked for you?
So those who have seen me speak would know that it's kind of happened by accident. So what happened during COVID was there was a lot of, changes happening every single day. The government was announcing and people were asking me all these questions. So I decided to start doing videos. So it started off just doing videos on my Facebook, to my friends and family. And then I was making a bit of a laugh out of it. So I'd get there and I'd have my glass of wine and I'd be like, okay, the latest thing is that McDonald's is open, but they can only serve cheeseburgers. You can't have chicken nuggets. So I was like making a bit of fun about that sort of stuff. And then that kind of just flowed into the accounting and the tax stuff at COVID time. And it was kind of also like, if the world's ending, I don't care what anyone thinks of me. I'm just going to be myself. And it really resonated with people, because people who knew me were like, yep, that's Nat. Yeah. And then people who didn't know me were like,
oh, this is Nat?
They were kind of like, oh, she's not a boring accountant and she actually knows what she's talking about. Yeah. So that whole video piece just, I guess, during that time really resonated with people. And then I just kind of kept that trend going. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. And you've just still doing it now as well.
I've kind of pulled back a little bit lately, which it's funny because when I tell people that, they're like, we haven't noticed.
No,
which just shows
you've got a great online presence.
Yeah, but also the only person who notices is you. We set out, like ourselves, I mean. So like, we set these expectations, like, I used to have a calendar of I need to post so many times a week and I need to film this, I need to do that. And then I kind of got to a point where I was a little bit burnt out because I was doing so many different things. But then also there's so much AI stuff now on social. So I'm kind of just once again taking a breather and going, okay, what's next? And I think also we were growing fast again and I was like, growing fast is a nightmare. Yeah. So some people might say, it's a great problem to have.
Yeah.
But when you're growing fast, you're bringing clients in that are not 100%, aligned with you. So I was like, no, let's just slow it back down. So now I'm just, kind of I'm still posting bits here and there, but I'm not doing as much as I was before. But
haven't noticed. Yeah. I mean, Nat's got a great LinkedIn persona, and I love LinkedIn. I speak about it all the time, and that's how I find everyone, and connect with so many people. So it's just fantastic. I didn't even notice. That's so funny. But speaking about clients that you value and that align with you, I think that's something that you've got real skin in the game to talk about. So how do you differentiate between what clients you want to work with and what clients you're like, see you later, no thanks?
Look, I think it's come from experience. So it's coming from working with certain clients and going, they're not the type of clients we want to work with. Sometimes it can be quite polarizing because we are quite picky with who we want to work with. When a business client comes to us, if they want us to do regular work for them, so bookkeeping, BAS, we put them on a monthly direct debit fixed fee. That's a non-negotiable. If they're not on that, then we're not spending time invoicing. Yeah, we don't want to be doing that.
We don't do that here.
No. And another non-negotiable is a quarterly meeting. So
Yeah.
we factor into all of our monthly packages is a quarterly half an hour Zoom. It's not super expensive to do half an hour each quarter, but it means even the smaller clients, they're getting FaceTime with me. We're going through their Xero file, we're going through their numbers so they can understand what's happening, because I feel like, as business owners, they start this business and they don't really understand their numbers. And even at a real fundamental low level, like they need to be they can't just go, oh, well, I don't understand this. They really need to understand it. But also helps build the relationship. And also, this is the gold nugget of the whole episode.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
It stops them from asking those quick questions all the time. So when they email or call with a quick question, the answer is, can this wait till your quarterly meeting? Yep, no problem. Park it.
Okay, so we hate quick questions here. Okay.
Look, we're happy to help our our
Go
clients.
away, everyone. Quick questions,
Look,
no.
We're happy to help our clients, right? But as I always say, like one quick question here and there is okay. But if you had all of your clients calling you every day with a quick question, you'd never get any work done.
Yeah.
So you've got to try and have some sort of a process for it so that you're not, losing money and time and your hair and working too many hours that you don't have to work.
So moral of the story is, there's no such thing as a stupid question, but there is such thing as a quick question, and we hate those.
Yeah. Isn't that an oxymoron?
That's so funny. So if we, talk about your whole process and how you've gotten to where you are today, have there been any major challenges you've faced that have really knocked you back, or have you kind of just plowed through them all and gone, yep, taking it under my belt, taking it into my stride, this is how we do it? Or has something really stumped you?
Let me see if I wrote something down on this. I think hold on. Did you have this in your list of questions?
I think so. It would be under the marketing one.
Oh, actually, I know what it is.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, ready? Go.
Would probably be when I decided to leave my old partnership and start my own accounting firm. So I'll never forget the day where I went into my partner's office and I said to them, I've decided I'm going to, go on my own and start my own business.
I quit.
Well, I was a 40% owner, so I couldn't just walk out and quit. I had to get some of my money out of that business before I could start. And one of them, who was an older male, was like, I don't know what you think you're going to do because you won't be able to do this on your own. And that's
vomit.
Yep. And that's always in the back of my head to be like, you know what? Not that we care about what other people think, but we kind of do.
Yeah.
To be like, you know what? I'm doing it and I've done it well, and we've done it for over 8 years now and we're still doing well. And then, post that, working through that whole partnership dissolution. I haven't been divorced, but I hear it's like a divorce. And it was a very terrible time, back and forth with the lawyers and money negotiations. And it wasn't a fun time at all. And that did, my confidence definitely took a hit from that. And that was always in the back of my mind that, can I do it? And for a little while I was like, I made the right decision, but each and every time I achieve something really awesome or get an awesome opportunity, and I'm chatting to one of my best friends who was there when, I made that decision. She's also an accountant. She was like, see, remember that day when we were sitting there and you were like, have I made the biggest decision, worst decision of my life? No, you haven't. So I think what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, Yeah.
Beautiful. And then you can just look in the mirror every day and go, I did that.
Yep. Yeah.
Suck it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That probably flows really well into my next thing I want to talk to you about, and that's, personal growth. How has your professional journey really shaped your personal life or your personal growth as well?
I think it's shaped it in a way that I would have never expected. So I guess coming out of that old school firm, I think I shared a photo when I did my presentation of when I worked there, back in the corporate suit, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then, during COVID when I was doing all the videos and I started wearing the pink jacket, and everyone was like, love your jacket. And then when I would take the jacket off and wear something else, people were like, oh, I didn't realize that was you. So then that kind of became, a bit of my persona. And I think that just gave me the confidence. It kind of felt like when I put the jacket on, and my husband jokes about this too, because when I got the jacket on, he goes, oh, you're filming? Because I work from home. So he's like, what do you got?
She means business.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you put it on, it's like the Superman, like it's the boss jacket.
Yeah.
And then I guess just surrounding myself with all the other amazing accountants in our industry. Everyone lifts each other up. Like shout out to Heather Smith. If it wasn't for her, she was the one who suggested CA do an article on me last year. I was just trying to think what year it was. Last year, I got on the cover. Like that was amazing.
Amazing.
Sarah Lawrence, a good friend of mine, she's always pushing me to do amazing things. But I go, I don't know, not sure about this. And she's like, no, do it. So just having, I guess, your tribe, but also the rest of the industry, everyone, as you've seen, and I've heard you say you want to be part of the club.
I want to be part of the club. I'll say it again. Somebody let me in.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard in one episode, I think it was with the drunk accountants, that you might be wanting to be an accountant.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Well, I think I speak about it so much.
Yeah.
And because I have such a great connection, a professional but a personal connection with so many people now, I'm like, oh, guys, I want to be part of the club. But people are always saying, well, you're not a part of the club.
Well, this is what we need to be showing at the universities. Like, how do we get in there? Who knows someone at a university where we can, like, I don't know, we need to get in there. We need to show them how fun it is.
With pink jackets and be like, hey, this is how cool you can feel.
But yeah, I think it's just something, like, confidence is something that you've got to build on yourself. Even now for me, people will think I'm, super extroverted, super confident. I'm actually an extroverted introvert. So like I love getting out there and speaking to people and all the rest of it. But it does take a lot of energy to like get myself in the zone. And then afterwards I'm like depleted and exhausted. So,
you have to crawl back and you're like, that was great, but I'm so tired. Yeah. Battery is dead.
Yeah.
I think that's also something that people struggle with when they're starting their own business, is the empowerment perspective of it. And, like you said, you need to find your tribe and people that make you feel empowered. But when we're starting our own businesses, well, not that I'm starting my own business, but you never know, guys. You never know. I might come out with an accounting firm one day. But when we're starting our own business, why are people always striving to be empowered? Why is this something we don't already have?
I don't know. Maybe the Gen Z have the secret, so maybe they can tell us, because I feel like
I wish I had the secret. We'll take to LinkedIn and we'll ask Gen Z on there. We'll say, why are you guys just so empowered?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to know.
Yeah.
Because I feel like for me it was a long journey to get there.
Yeah.
And so, it's not fair, Gen Z, that you just come out of the gate with it.
I hate these
What's
guys.
your secret?
Do you know what? I actually think it might be social media. Because you see so many people being empowered and being like, this is what I've been through, this is my business, this is my experience. Like someone like you, for example, or, sitting in your Xerocon panel session and your, presentation that you did, I was sitting there going, wow, what an empowered, strong, amazing woman. But you've had experience to get there. But I think people watching it and younger people watching it has just gone, oh, yeah, let's be empowered.
Yeah.
I know.
I think you're right. I think it's definitely social media. Because I feel like that's helped me with my confidence, because when you're filming it, there's no one there. It's just you. And so that was when I was, teaching in my TikTok course about having that, the empowerment, the confidence, is no one's really seeing it. You're the one doing it. And then usually when you first upload it, no one's really looking at it anyway. So just do it and no one cares. So I think you're right. I think the social media piece is definitely given the younger generations a lot of confidence. Look out for the future generations. Like,
right?
I've got a 13-year-old nephew and he's just wild.
But they're not 13 anymore, are they? They're actually 13 going on 27. Yes. It's bizarre. And, people post, they're like, this is me at 14. I was like, when I was 14, I was still wearing, a striped T-shirt dancing to Hannah Montana. What's going on?
I don't know about 14, maybe 13.
14's the next step up. You're a woman then. So if we were to speak about, advice, if we were going to give advice to other business owners or, people that want to start a business, they want to get out of that, corporate setting or a firm that they're not happy in, what would be something you would say to them?
I guess don't just think that you're going to, leave your job and open up a business the next day and people are going to come. Like it is tough. It's not for everybody. I've even mentored a couple of people who have decided it's not for them and they've gone back to working. And I was like, oh, does that mean? They're like, no. Like you've shown us that there's all this stuff that we hadn't actually thought about and it's it's all too hard. So definitely do your research, networking. So reach out and find someone that, can mentor you, can help you. Talk to other I guess if you're starting your own small accounting firm, talk to other people who have done it, find out, what they did in the beginning, what worked, what didn't. If it's a business in general, you really need to do your research, have a business plan. Like, I feel like, and this is a thing a lot of accountants and bookkeepers can relate to, there needs to be a test. This comes back to the tax things that need to happen. There needs to be a test when people get an ABN, because people get an ABN, they have no clue. They go and, trade for a year, and then they come to us and they're like, oh, this is all a mess. Can you please sort it out? And then it often costs a lot to fix it then, where it would have been cheaper if they came in the first place. But they don't know what they don't know, right?
Yeah.
So it's not as easy as it looks on Instagram to run a business.
Yeah.
We get a lot of businesses who come in and on Instagram they look amazing, like they're doing all these great things, and then we look under the hood and they're not doing so well. So
pardon the pun. That was on purpose.
Yeah. So running a business is not all rainbows and lollipops.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's something I've always wondered as well. Have you got people coming to you and you're looking at their books and you're looking at their numbers and you're going, okay, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Do you tell them they're in trouble?
They already kind of know.
Yeah.
And I feel like at the moment we're seeing a lot of businesses that are in trouble. I feel like, back to COVID, I know we should play a drinking game. Whenever I say COVID, we have a drink. It's Friday afternoon, we're drunk. I feel like what happened through COVID was a lot of businesses that were already struggling got all the government money. And so it kind of propped them up. And then ever since then, they're kind of just cruising along and thinking, oh, well, if something happens, the government, someone will bail me out because that's what's happened in the past. And look, you can hang on to an insolvent business for probably a couple of years by not paying your ATO debt and not paying, moving things around.
Not that we would recommend that.
Oh, 100% I wouldn't recommend that. But this is what I say to people when they're like, when they're looking at someone's business on Instagram and going, oh, look at them. And I'm like, yeah, but in my experience, just because they're doing all that on Instagram doesn't always mean, like they could be moving that stuff around and doing all that stuff. So I say to them, don't compare them with you.
Yeah.
Because your business might be amazing or is amazing, but just because you're not doing that on Instagram Instagram is not reality.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to know. So if I was to come to you and my numbers and my books and everything was a bit of a mess, do you see that as an accountant and go, cool, this is something I can tackle, this is a challenge that I want to tackle? Or do you look at that and go, oh my God, I just can't even look at this. This is a lot of work for me. Don't have time.
Yep.
This is a nightmare. Is it a bit of both or is it one or the other?
It kind of depends what time of year it is first. Right?
Fair.
If it's like, around May when we're super busy, then probably it depends on capacity at that time. But generally, yes, they are a good client, but only if they're receptive to changing their habits. We've had quite a few clients come to us in a mess, and they're our best clients because we've gone above and beyond. We've helped them. We've got ATO sorted, books are clean, and now they really value everything we do. Right? We've got some clients who told us they wanted all this. They wanted the clean books. They wanted to understand all this. And then we clean it all up, and then they're not happy because they've got this tax to pay and they think it's our fault. And we're like, well, it's not our fault. You're behind.
Yeah.
So I'm just the bearer of the bad news.
Bad news, which would suck sometimes.
Yeah. And then they leave. So it's like, it's the balance, right? It's all about when you're onboarding them, speaking to them, making sure that they're the right client. And I don't get it right all the time. Sometimes we think they're going to come good and they don't.
Yeah.
But you've got to balance it all.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
So obviously we keep saying, COVID shot. COVID was, almost 6 years ago, 5 years ago. Where do you see yourself or the industry on a whole within the next 5 years or 6 years? Where's it going?
Ooh. I hope there's more robots.
Please.
Unpopular opinion.
Where are the hoverboards we were promised?
Oh, I think they're coming. I saw some great stuff on Instagram the other day about some shoes that they've got in China. Did you see those?
No.
They're like flying. They're like, not flying, they're kind of hovering.
Like little hover.
Yeah.
Well, where are they?
I don't know. In China. We don't get them here.
We
I don't know.
promised them a long time ago.
No, but in all seriousness, like I said before, the individual tax returns, they need to just be automated. They're automated in the UK and New Zealand.
Some people might hate you saying that. They might be like, I just want to be a tax. I know a lot of people that have come to me and I just want to be a tax agent. I don't want to do anything else. I just want to do tax. I'm like, what?
Yeah, but I do know some tax agents that just do individuals.
Yeah.
But
Automate it.
Anyway, I don't like doing the individual tax returns. Not that I actually do them anyway. The team does them. But there's not much margin in them. Clients don't want to pay, yada, yada. Anyway, that's the hill that I'm going to die on right there. Would like the individual tax returns automated. Would like to see probably more of the bookkeeping automated. Once again, I'm going to have some very angry people after this episode. My
you've got skin in the
approval
game
rating
now.
might decrease.
No, you've got skin in the game. Speak your piece.
Yeah. Just I'm looking forward to the automation as long as it works. Because as I said, every time we see something come up and pop up, it's like, okay, it doesn't do enough yet. It's not ready yet. But I think in the next 5 years it will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so I think it's an exciting time.
Gosh, you never know. We might be sitting here in 5 years going, what?
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll be in the same position. Yeah. Who knows?
I feel like when we're going through it, it doesn't seem like it moves that fast.
Yeah.
But if we look back.
You're like, whoa.
And you look at all the things that have even happened in my career. So I'm going to show my age here. But when I first started working, we were handwriting journals and then manually keying them in to the accounting software. Whereas now we've got bank feeds. And we just allocate it that way. So we're still doing it sort of the same, but sort of not. So I think that there's the quote. Sort of the same, but sort of not.
Would you say it's easier to be an accountant now than it was when you first started, or the other way around?
I guess it's different because when I first started, I wasn't a business owner. I would probably say it probably was easier before, but maybe I didn't know what I didn't know at that stage. But I think too at the moment we've got so much going on. You know, we've got the AI stuff. We've got, all the rules and regulations. We've got this anti-money laundering thing coming in next year.
Yes, that is a big thing.
Which, don't ask me about it. I've had a bit of a read, but it's all kind of above my head for the moment.
Don't
and we've
worry.
got a while. So
I'll pull through with a podcast episode, everyone. It's coming soon.
Park that. All that stuff that happened with the Div 296 they're talking about the GST reform. All these reforms, it's like, can we just have a bit of a breather? Can you just fix some of the stuff that we would like you to fix before you do the new stuff? Because I feel like there's been a lot of regulation change, legislation change, all of the above. And I think that's been really hard to tackle that on top of the COVID period where I think I've got PTSD. I remember Good Friday, the government updated the JobKeeper legislation.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there on Good Friday going, FML, what am I doing? But at least it was Good Friday. There's nothing
Good
to
Friday,
do.
you can't do anything.
Everything's closed anyway. But I was like, this is my life.
Just
Fun
FML.
times.
Worst Easter ever.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it was time to be alive.
If we were to go back to young Nat and you were to give her some advice after everything you've learned on your crazy, amazing journey, what would you tell her?
I would tell her to probably leave the other accounting firm and start your own earlier and have the confidence that you can and you will achieve anything that you want to do. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Wish I could go back. That would be amazing.
It would be. Well, okay, so time travelling, flying shoes.
I'd like time travelling. Can someone invent that in the next 5 years?
Automated tax returns. We've got a list. We'll let somebody know. Well, Nat Lennon, thank you so much for joining me on Under the Hood today. It's been a long time coming. I'm so glad to finally have you here.
Thank you for having me. I had a fun time.
To everyone that's listening in, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Under the Hood with Natalie Lennon. Until next time, bye for now.
The information featured in this podcast is general in nature and does not take into consideration your financial situation or individual needs and should not be relied upon. Before making any investment, insurance, tax, property or financial planning decision, you should consult a licensed professional who can advise whether your decision is appropriate for you. Guests appearing on this podcast may have a commercial relationship with the companies mentioned.